And now it's time for something different. It's time to answer a serious question. Wow, that was first take. I should do that move more often. Why has no one ever had a proper answer to this question? They always leave you hanging and leave you to interpret it for yourself. And the dumbest part is, when I was a kid, I completely misread this question. I didn't even know what a woodchuck was. What's a woodchuck to a kid who's 5 or whatever? And not just woodchucking, but I used to think that the chucking wood part meant it was eating it for some reason. So I would always wonder, what is this rodent thing doing eating wood? Is that its job? And even after realizing that chucking, I guess, implies that's throwing the wood, that makes even less sense, because when has a rodent ever tried to throw wood around? Yeah, I guess squirrels throw acorns when they're angry, but okay, this train of thought is derailing. Let's get back to the meat of this question. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? If we consider the size of a woodchuck, smaller than a cat, I assume, and it would walk on all 4 of its legs, so it's not like it's preparing its arm strength for chucking wood in the first place, which would mean it'd probably be reasonable to maybe toss like a twig just to start out, and then build up as you go along with like a bigger sized branch or stick. But even then, could it use its back legs to get enough momentum to keep itself up and toss the stick? How does an animal learn to toss something anyways? When do monkeys figure that out? Although here's an interesting twist to that logic, is that part of the question asks if it could chuck wood, implying that we already know that it doesn't have the ability to do so. So is there really a point to considering its weight and leg and arm strength if we don't know what to base that on? If we don't have a baseline for its strength, then theoretically, maybe it could toss a log if it really tried. And it's not like I've looked at Google Images or anything recently, but maybe I'm also forgetting the actual size of a woodchuck, and it's bigger than I thought, which would help its case a bit. There's just so many variables. So if we consider the fact that there's little point to putting math or logic into this, and I consider myself an optimist and also a fan of animals in general, I like to see a woodchuck just throw a tree. Just chuck a huge tree. If a woodchuck could chuck wood, it could probably chuck a tree if it really tried. That's probably the answer they were looking for. So I think the moral of this story is the world may never know. And it's really late, and I'm figuring out that editing these videos so fast is going to be a challenge, and I'm reaching. Oh, man. Maybe I thought chuck was something like eating because of the term upchuck sort of relates to that. So it would eat the wood and then... Oh, I was a weird kid.